Well, hello, retail traders. This is the Sneaky Snake trading strategy where we talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And right now, I want to talk about Nike. Nike had a real huge pullback, 12% pullback off earnings, and I like a 10% correction in a lot of good tickers. But so we're going to go ahead and pull up the chart first. This is Trend Spider. I use their platform every once in a while. I noticed two things about it, that it likes to bounce off an inverse head and shoulders. We had one here, had a nice little breakout, and we're having one right here where we pulled back also for the second touch on that right shoulder on the inverse head and shoulders. Plus we had a double top up here that failed and pulled back. Also, we were right above the anchored VWAP, which is right here, and that could hold as support. So I've got a couple, and we're also pulled back to the price volume action right here. Volume by price, support level, where everybody's kind of looking at that spot for support. So the reasons for the pullback was the earnings in China. Just a day ago, Nike warning that China should scare any company that does business in China. And they're in a real deep recession right now, and the country's falling apart, and they've got a leader over there that you just quite can't understand. It plummets 12%. Steep, and they're going to be cutting $2 billion in cost. And that's going to be a good factor for Nike. China sales are down real big. Personally, I don't wear Nikes. And I think another reason that won't be talked about is that Nike has gone so woke. They become a leg for the politicians. They've gone too political, and any company that gets very political, in my opinion, is just not the right answer. I've got businesses. I got two businesses. I had a picture frame shop, and my number one rule is I never talk politics to my customers. And same as the business I got now, which is a janitorial business, I never talk politics with my customers. But it's in their thing, so personally, I don't think I've only bought one pair of Nikes, and I couldn't stand them. They were just not good arch. Needed a better arch, unless they made them better. But that's been years ago. So let's look at the chart again. We know that earnings suck. We had a 12% pullback, and we pulled back to the anchored VWAP, and we're pulling back to that support level, which is off of the inverted head and shoulders. Plus, we did pull back to the price volume back here, which is very important to hold as a solid support. So I got three different reasons to take this trade. So we're going to come in and look at it. Tomorrow I'm going to pull up a different chart on my other platform. This is the weekly time frame. Let's pull up the weekly a little bit longer and see what we got here. We'll go back 15 years. So if you go back 15 years, we got a 1, 2, 3 right down here. And that's where we bounced off back up to the 200. Now this is on the weekly time frame. So that was a real solid support, and we called that out in the room. And now we've hit the 200. So that's a hard resistance. I'm going to draw one trend line. And that's just almost touched that 200 SMA. So now we pulled back and we broke below the 9. Now this is on the weekly time frame. So I think we could pull back and hit the 21. Let's pull this back up to a 3-year. If we do pull back and hit that 21, that's going to be a solid support. And then there's your double confirmation of an inverse head and shoulders right there. So we're at support. I mean, we're close to support. And I think it will consolidate and start to move back up. And the moving average that we're going to have to break. We're going to hold the 21, and the moving average that we're going to have to break is going to be this one right here and this one here. That's the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA, and I think this here is the 300. 100 EMA. So somewhere in that area. So let's just go ahead and count the 50 SMA as a resistance level to hit on the rebound back up. And that's right around 112. So keep that 112 in mind. And it has a confirmation of a candle too, which is right over here. 112. If we get back up there, then it's going to be hard to break these rest of these resistance levels. And your solid support is going to be no lower than the shoulder line at 105, 105.50 at the lowest, with 107 solid support. And that's going to be it. That's Nike. So we all know about the bad earnings. And let's pull up the weekly 5-minute chart. Now I have a rule that I talk about in the room. It's called the 3-day rule. So we had the hard sell off down to my support level here at 107. Now I didn't see that 107 until just now. So if we come back and retest it, that'll be a double bottom. And we want that to hold. So we're going to go 1, 2, and maybe 3 day. Maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll start to see a rebound to the upside and try to get this back to 112. And that's Nike. This is a sneaky snake trading strategy where we talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now.